Hi everyone, I want to show off a project I've been working on, so welcome to the first devlog. Currently it has no name, so I've just been calling it Tycoon Game. The game is a 3D physics-based FPS incremental game. Basically, the goal of the game is to just make numbers go up by using cubes processed through machines. I'll just jump right into it by showing you all the content in the game so far, from the very beginning to the end of the content. So you start out in a very empty plot of land in like an industrial area, and you only have a couple of items, a blueprint, a shovel, and these two hoppers. One is for collecting money and the other is for collecting blocks. The hoppers correspond with the resources in the top left of the HUD. The only other thing here is an item store and a blueprint store. Item store is currently just for buying some resources, like blocks and energy, and the blueprint store is for buying and unlocking new blueprints for things to build around the compound. For instance, the first thing you'd want to build is a factory to make some cubes. Right now I can afford to buy this blueprint, but I can't afford to build it. There it is in the corner. So in order to get some blocks, I just need to get some more money and buy some blocks. So to start out, I'm just going to take my shovel and start digging in the ground. I have a dirt cube. I can pick it up and move it around. I can toss it, catch it, and if I drop it in the hopper, I get some money. So I'm just going to dig up a bunch of these cubes and get some money to start out with. That should be enough. So now I can buy a couple blocks and build the foundations. Now that I have the foundations, the blueprint for the building itself should be unlocked. So I'll purchase that and go build that. And now I have a nice big empty room to store machines. The first machine of which is a basic cube dispenser. Need some more money and blocks, so let's just get some more cubes. That should be enough. And here's our dispenser. When you interact with the screen on the dispenser, you get this little control panel where you can see the status of the machine, the level of it, the speed of it, and how much the cubes it produces cost and how much they're worth. So to start out with, I'm going to try and turn it on, but as you can see the yellow light's on because I have no energy. So let's buy some energy. There we go. Yellow light is still on, so it looks like we don't have any speed upgrades. So let's get a couple more dirt cubes, and then we should be able to buy the first speed upgrade. I'm going to take this with me. Alright, now the machine's running, and we get our first cube. Just a plain metal blank, basically. Each one's worth 5, so it'll drop into the hopper and give us money. Now we can continue upgrading the speed on the machine. It looks like we're going to run out of energy pretty quickly, so let's go buy some more. Now instead of purchasing energy, we can also build a structure to create energy. Here we go. Basic energy production foundations. So let's purchase this. and then purchase a couple of blocks. And I think maybe I'd like some sidewalks to go between these buildings as well. There we go. No more running in the dirt. Next, to build the structure itself. Need more money and more blocks. I think for now I'm going to try and use the block hopper to collect blocks instead of purchasing them. So now we're collecting blocks instead of money. And this should be enough. Nope, 12. Okay, let's buy some more. Now we have another small building. Instead of housing a cube-related machines though, this one is going to house basic energy production. Oh, it's quite expensive, so let's continue to collect some blocks. Oh, we're out of energy. We're going to need a couple more blocks to build this next structure. Its block costs 10, and now we just need a couple of more dollars. There it is. And now I get to show you my favorite part, the crank. So you start out with a hand crank, a display that currently doesn't have a display, a flywheel, a generator, and a capacitor. Each one of these components will be able to be upgraded through the control panel. But to start out with, this is all you have. Crank, flywheel, generator, capacitor. Upgrading the crank will give you more turns on the flywheel. Upgrading the flywheel will make it last longer and generate, it'll make it last longer so that it spins for longer. And upgrading the generator will give you more energy per flywheel turn, and then upgrading the capacitor will increase the amount of energy you can store. So if I just go ahead and grab the crank and start turning, already the flywheel's turning a little bit and we're getting a little bit of energy. So let's try turning it a lot. There we go. Making much more energy than we were before. And this energy is basically free. Now we can afford some upgrades on here. Nice. And maybe we buy the next machine. At the blueprint store, here on page 2, we have the cube indenter. So let's buy this and buy some more blocks. There it is. Cool little animation of some pistons. And the cube indenter indents the cubes on the sides. Pretty slick animation. Indents the cubes, and now they're worth double. Instead of 5, they're now worth 10. So you can see how quite quickly your cash flow can grow and your resources. This machine also has its own energy usage, so you can see our energy is going to start dropping a lot more as well. Looks like we might need to start cranking a little bit, but we can go ahead and buy the next upgrade, make cubes even faster, and we can go check out maybe what the next machine is. Cube Beveler. Oh, looks like we don't have quite enough cash for that. So instead, let's take a look at the factory building sidewalk. Here it is. Just need a couple more blocks. Nice sidewalk that goes around the building. And building that unlocks this object and this object. So I can purchase these. Just some cosmetic miscellaneous items to make you feel like you're making a difference around the compound. Oops. Looks like we have quite enough money now, so let's buy the next blueprint. But this one costs a lot of blocks, so let's purchase all those. And this machine, it's got a little motor with a router on it, and it gives the cubes a nice little bevel. It's actually quite shiny around the edges. Very nice effect. And once again, they're worth double, so now they're worth 20 each. And we're making quite a bit more cash than we were before. Everything's running smoothly. So the idea is that you fill up this whole room with lots of machines to process the cubes, make them more and more valuable, and keep increasing your cash flow and buying more upgrades and so on. Buying more buildings eventually. Maybe you make a different kind of shape or process the cubes even further in a different building, and maybe some different forms of energy production, something more interesting than a hand crank, and something a little bit more idle. But that's all I have for you for this devlog. I'm quite happy with the progress I've made in about a month. So hopefully in another month I'll have even more to show you. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.